The English Channel in late September is a hostile physical environment. It is defined by cold rain, gray chop, and unpredictable high winds. Inside a flat-bottomed transport ship, the environment becomes a pitching, chaotic mess. Thousands of heavy warhorses slip in their own filth, surrounded by terrified men. The immediate, lethal challenge was projecting physical control over a densely populated, hostile landmass the moment those ships hit the beach. Once ashore, the Normans faced a severe math problem. A few thousand elite soldiers were entirely surrounded by an Anglo-Saxon population numbering over 2 million. William deployed the Motte-and-Bailey Castle as a prefabricated instrument of terror designed for rapid deployment. Unskilled peasants dug a deep, circular defensive ditch. The excavated dirt was piled directly into the center, generating a steep, artificial mound called the motte. Below sat the Bailey courtyard. A wooden palisade and keep snapped into place on top, requiring zero skilled masonry. Depending on the scale, a local workforce could assemble one of these installations in anywhere from 1,000 to 24,000 man-days. The volume of earth moved remains a fixed feature of the landscape. Hundreds of these massive, artificial grass-covered mounds still scar the English countryside today. After decades of raw timber suppression, the Normans upgraded these positions. Heavy stone shell keeps were constructed atop the settled mottes to finalize their grip. By utilizing modular architecture, a fraction of an occupying force could physically suppress massive local populations from an elevated, secure redoubt, completely avoiding the risks of open field battle. The physical range of a castle has limits. In the remote, rugged terrain of the north, an Anglo-Scandinavian insurgency tested those limits. The northern rebels understood the Norman military machine. They consistently refused to engage William's heavy cavalry in traditional pitched battles, retreating into the landscape instead. Denied a conventional military victory, William abandoned battlefield tactics entirely. He pivoted to economic warfare. Over the winter of 1069 to 1070, he executed a massive project of demographic engineering known as the Harrying of the North. Norman forces methodically dismantled the region's ability to sustain life. They burned grain stores, destroyed tools, and slaughtered livestock as the winter freeze set in. This scorched earth campaign systematically consumed the agricultural output of entire counties, covering Yorkshire, Durham, and Northumberland in ash. The resulting famine was absolute. Contemporary chroniclers recorded that survivors resorted to cannibalism, devouring horses, dogs, and human flesh, while others sold themselves into perpetual slavery just to eat. The fallout was mathematically staggering. An estimated 100,000 people died of starvation and exposure, erasing roughly 4.5% of England's entire population. The landscape itself was left barren. Vast tracts of land were entirely depopulated, remaining bleak and empty for generations. To hold this emptied territory, the Normans shifted their architectural strategy. They built massive stone fortresses, like Richmond Castle, specifically to dominate a dead landscape. By weaponizing starvation, William permanently broke the agricultural and economic base of regional defiance. Logistical destruction proved far more lethal than any battlefield victory. With the physical violence concluding by 1070, William spent the next 15 years pivoting from military suppression to administrative consolidation. In 1085, he commissioned the Domesday Book. This was an 11th century administrative panopticon, a system of total, centralized surveillance over a subject population. The logistical goal was absolute financial transparency. The king's agents cataloged the annual value of every piece of landed property, the labor force tied to it, and every head of livestock. The result was a raw data matrix. These meticulously penned Latin ledgers reduced the complex human suffering of the conquest into cold, mechanical tax data. For the northern counties, the survey repeatedly used a stark administrative phrase, wastius est, meaning it is wasted. This chart shows the drastic drop in Yorkshire estate values between 1066 and 1086, revealing 60% of holdings were classified as waste. The missing physical resources are immense. 80,000 oxen and 150,000 people were permanently removed from the taxable base. The survey also documented a total transfer of wealth. By 1086, the Anglo-Saxon aristocracy was almost entirely replaced by a tiny handful of Norman lords. The native English population understood the finality of this document. They named it Domesday, the Old English word for a law or judgment, because its financial sentences were unalterable. The Domesday Book finalized the conquest. It translated the physical brutality of the invasion into an inescapable permanent database of mathematical taxation. The subjugation of England relied on a strict, compounding logistical chain. Step 1, massive amphibious logistics. Step 2, modular wooden fortresses. Step 3, engineered famine. Step 4, total administrative surveillance. The reality of this four-step campaign strips away the sanitized, chivalric myths of medieval kingship, revealing a cold, calculated operation. At Hastings, William broke the English army. In the decades that followed, he engineered a mechanical framework of subjugation that defined the demographic, economic, and physical reality of England.